more alpha equals less girlfriends. Now, what do I mean by that? More alpha equals less girlfriends. I've been thinking a lot lately. It's funny. I'm not having too much trouble getting laid. I'm getting laid a lot more, but I'm having a much harder time keeping a girlfriend, and I find that to be extremely interesting. Because in the past, when I was younger, I'd have an easier time getting girlfriends, but a harder time getting laid by other women. And I'll explain to you guys what's going on here, right? It's very interesting. So basically, American women have been brought up they're like parasites. They're brought up to attach themselves to a weak man, a man they feel is a weak host that they can suck the most blood out of, meaning drain for the most resources, drain for the most attention, manipulate to do whatever they want them to do. Now, what I never see too many people talking about is what happens when a woman encounters one of the rare alpha men that just don't take anything. Only one of two situations really genuinely happen. There's a very rare third situation, but not too many women are up to the task. Basically, the first two situations are she is either going to want to sleep with him because he's alpha, but then not really do anything else with him because there's nothing to manipulate, which is what happens to me most of the time. Or she's going to hate that he's alpha. It's enough. She's going to find it disgusting, and she's going to want nothing to do with him, which is great because you dodged a bullet anyway. And then the third option, which is much rarer, is she will try to change you and turn you into the beta through a fake facade of love and affection to wear you down with love. But not too many women know how to do that. It takes a very special kind of manipulator to do that, and most women aren't really that good at manipulation. No matter how much they try to pretend they are, they're really not that good. So, I have a few stories from times when I was, not as, I've always been more of an alpha male, well, really more of a sigma alpha male. So, like my own kind of alpha, not necessarily like the star football player, but like the guy who gives everyone the finger and completely does his own thing. Which I guess is what MGTOW is, right? It's like kind of like a sigma alpha male kind of thing. But, anyway, I have stories from when I was, I guess, less alpha, more. It wasn't really more that I was less alpha. I was just kind of wet behind the ears. I was brand new to the whole dating game, so certain predatory females would make their move, I suppose. And basically, I would have, basically, in order for a relationship with a woman to work, in order for you to have a long-term relationship with a Western woman, she has to wear you down more and more over time and manipulate you more and more over time, right? She has to feel like she's gaining leverage over you. She has to feel like she's manipulating and wearing you down, and you're doing what she wants you to do. The second you're not going along with her game plan, she's going to start exploring other options because she wants someone she can control, right? She's been raised to have someone she can control. I've had girls I was dealing with years ago, and what they do, and I found this out, I went through her phone, right? They compare their boyfriends, like they talk with their girlfriends, right? They'll be texting each other, and they want to see whose boyfriend can get them to do more for them. Like, oh, my boyfriend took me to the movies. My boyfriend bought me a pair of Gucci shoes. And they're all comparing to see which boyfriend they can manipulate to do more for them. And whichever one can manipulate her boyfriend to do more for her wins the game with the other girls, right? This is the game they're playing. It's not about finding a loving guy. It's not about building a family. It's a game they're playing with their girlfriends of whose boyfriend can do more for me. And whichever one can manipulate their boyfriend the most wins the game, right? So all girls play this game with their friends. And And I saw this with many girls I dated in the past. And the second I broke away and stopped doing what they want me to do, that's when we would get into big fights and ultimately, lead to a breakup, right? And I did a little experiment a few months ago because, I've been on the other side for a couple of years now. I haven't had a girlfriend in years. And I'm like, you know what? I want to see what it's like to have one again. So I purposely met a girl, right, a few months ago, and I let my guard down with her, and I just totally pretended to be this, like, nice, just understanding, nice, guy who really wants to talk to her about her problems and be there for her, and I got a girlfriend, It's sad that this is what I have to do, me being just the tough, realistic guy I am. I can't get a girlfriend that way. I have to pretend to be this submissive, nice guy. So I do it, right? and I get a girlfriend and we date for a few months. And of course, I have it all mapped out because I know the game. I just wanted to go back to being the nice guy after being the total alpha for years, just to see what it's like again, just for the hell of it, and so I did it, right? So for the first month, everything's going according to plan. We're in the honeymoon phase, so she's showering me with love, she's showering me with sex, sending me tons of nude pictures, all the good stuff, right? I have this all mapped out, so everything's going according to plan. Then about 6 weeks into it, suddenly starts nagging and whining a lot and complaining how I'm not, I need to be more affectionate, which means let your guard down so I can manipulate you more. See, I was letting her manipulate me, but I still had some alpha, tendencies that were preventing her from being able to manipulate me all the way, and she picked up on that. So I had to play even more dumb. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, babe, yeah, we'll talk about your problems some more, we'll talk about all that. And we ended up going to a party with her friends. So she thinks everything's going according to plan, right? And she's telling me how she's not like any other girl, and how she really loves me for me, and all that good stuff, right? And how she really cares about me. And anyway, so we go to a party with her friends, right? And she's talking to her friend in the other room, and I happen to walk by and eavesdrop, and I hear her telling her friend, oh, this one is good, he's so easy to control, you should have seen, I was freaking out at him, I was yelling at him, and he was totally taking it. She's talking to her girlfriend, telling her this, right, at the party, and I'm just listening in on it, and I'm laughing, because I'm like, yep, that's what I needed to see. I needed to put myself in that position and see just who they really are. And it's hilarious. She's like, yeah, he's totally going along with it. He's totally you should see the stuff I get him to do for me. It's crazy. She's telling her friend this, right? And I'm laughing, and I'm like, this girl has no idea I'm about to dump her in 48 hours. She has no idea I've been going along with this the entire time. She has no idea who I really am, right? She has no idea who I really am. So 2 days later, I just dump her. I'm like, yeah, I'm moving to another state, sorry. And I just dump her, and it blows her mind. She's blowing my phone up, what the hell? How could you just do this to me? I thought you said you were gonna be with me. I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry, babe. It turns out I have to go over here and live over here. I'm sorry. Anyways, we can still be friends. And she freaked out. We talked for a few days, and then we never talked again. But it's just funny how I wasn't able to get a girlfriend for years, right? I was only able to get sex. And then the second I tell myself, I'm going to just pretend to be a beta and pretend to be this just understanding, loving, sensitive guy, now I get another girlfriend after years of not having one. It's funny how that's the only way to get and keep a girlfriend, right? Very interesting stuff. See, as a guy, let's say you have the alpha male attitude, you actually might be able to get a girlfriend for a little bit, but if you want to keep her, that all depends on her ability to manipulate you, right? She has to be the parasite, and she has to feed off of you and make you weaker and weaker over time. When you see these guys that have been in these 3-year relationships, or these guys that are married for 10, 20 years, 99% of the time, it's a host-parasite relationship, right? It's not like they're both healthy and loving and, oh, I do for her, she does for me. No. 99% of the time, these women have been brought up to view you as a host. That the parasite will suck the blood out of. And the fact that I couldn't get a girlfriend for years until I totally pretend to let my guard down and become weak, and then I get one, that just proved my whole point for me, Now that I'm just this carefree, guy who doesn't take any crap from women, I can get tons of sex, but they realize right after, oh crap, there's nothing I can, use him for, and then it's on to the next one. She feels like she kind of wasted her time. Because she wants more than just sex, right? She wants to manipulate you. She wants everything from you. But that doesn't do anything for me. And of course, women don't understand the concept of give and take. It's just take. Because we live in a society that allows them to, act in their animalistic behavior. See, as men, we're not allowed to act in our... See, here's the thing. Back in the 40s and 50s, there were regulations for women where they had to act as decent as we do, right? And that actually made them happier. They couldn't act like animals. They had to learn respect. They had to learn love for men. And they were happier that way because that makes them complete. But now we have a society where we're still expected to be the man from the 1950s, right? We're still, you can't yell, you can't fight, you have to be disciplined, you can't show your strength too much. But women, They can be as loud and rude and violent and manipulative as they want. And that is a animalistic survival tactic that women use. See, the way women are now, it gives them survival, but it doesn't give them happiness and love in a family. See, women are like this because in a situation where they don't have a man, this is how they pass their genes into the next generation, right? They manipulate, they get a guy to get them pregnant. This is how they survive. But they don't need to survive anymore. They live in a society where they can be good to the man and still get everything they want. But they don't want to do that because they're not forced to, right? So you're seeing women regress into their animalistic way of being, while men are still expected to be in their more civilized way of being, if that makes sense, right? And as long as they're like that, as long as they're going to act like, animals, I'm going to treat them like animals. You want to sleep around, you want to manipulate, you want to get a bunch of diseases, you want to have 10 different guys, I'm going to treat you like crap then. You want to be stringing along 10 different guys at the same time while I'm expected to be, Ward Cleaver? Get the hell out of here. So, you want to act like a dog, you're going to get treated like a dog, point blank, period. More alpha equals less girlfriends.